Hey everybody, it's Wendy, and today I have for you a quick and easy tutorial on these little pendants. So these are made using square stitch, which is very easy and pretty quick to do. So this one, we have purple with silver and green and a beautiful little flower made by Heidi Blankenship. It's polymer clay. And this one is kind of boho colors. I love this one. The little electroplated bead dangle. And this one was a little brighter with another little polymer clay flower made by Heidi Blankenship. So they're all hung on, these two are hung on Coreana chain with a bail. This one is hung on a ball chain with a bail. And if you're interested in making these, then come on back and we'll get a supply list together. So let me get these out of the way. Okay, so one of the components that you're going to need for these are the chandelier earring findings. Let me scoot my camera around here a little bit. There we have it. Okay, these chandelier earring findings, these have 5 little loops on them, and I got these from Budget Bead Box, and I'll put a link in the description box below. I'm sorry, I hit the camera again, trying to get my lighting over here. But anyway, I'll put a link in the description box below for these to Budget Bead Box. So that's where I got those. And then you're going to need some things for your dangle. So I'm using this gorgeous moonstone bead. And I love moonstone. Look at that. It is so pretty. I'm using that and a couple little sparkly rondelles. A couple of bead caps. Okay, that's going to be my dangle. And then you're going to need some jump rings, some crimp beads, some clamshells to finish off your chain. We're going to be using Coreana chain to hang this on. And I have a piece here. Let's see if I can find it. Here we go. We're going to be using Coreana chain to hang this on. Now, Coreana chain comes in a bunch of different colors. This is the platinum version. I get this from Budget Bead Box. It comes in 2-meter increments and it is very inexpensive. And this is the silver, or it's platinum, but you can use it with silver. See, it looks just fine with silver. She does not order silver because it has, it's not lead, nickel, and cadmium free. And she likes to order all of her metals that way so everyone can use them. So this platinum works great. So we can use that. You're going to need a head pin for your dangle. You're going to need a lobster claw for your closure or whatever you choose. I'm using a lobster claw. And you're going to need 3 colors of size 6/0 seed beads. Now I'm using black, white, and silver in this one. I'm making it very basic. And that's what I've got here. Okay, so, and then you're going to need your needle threaded onto about 2 arm spans of Fireline. I'm using 6-pound Fireline, and I don't know what size my needle is because I never really pay attention to that. I put them all in a container and just pull out one when I need one. I don't even pay attention to what size they are, so I don't know, maybe that's bad, but that's the way I do it. So that's what we've got. All right, so let's get our seed beads dumped out here. Now, one thing that you need to make note of in this project is that you want your seed beads, 6/0 seed beads are never uniform. I don't care what brand you buy, they're not. They just aren't. There's big ones, there's little ones, there's, you know, it's just the way it is. But you can call out the ones that are real irregular in shape. So if you look at this little thing here, you want them to be fairly uniform. Now, square stitch is pretty forgiving, and the fact that it's kind of a boho style, you know, lends it to be a little bit eclectic, but still, you don't want to put a huge seed bead beside a real skinny seed bead. So just keep that in mind when you're picking out, when you're beading, you know, and picking your beads up. Just, you know, try to keep them kind of uniform if you can. So, alrighty, so let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to attach our beads to this top component. Okay, so let's see. You need to decide too how you want to do your pattern. So I think what I'm going to do is Oh, do I want to do silver or black? I think I'm gonna do white around the edges, black in the middle, and silver frame around it. So I think that's how I'm gonna do this one. Okay, because I have white thread, and with square stitch, your thread does tend to show a little. So I think I'll do the white around the edges since I'm using white thread. Okay, so what you're gonna do is pick up a bead, go through the first loop on your component, pull it down, leave just a small tail, like maybe 5 inches. Okay, and then you're going to go back up through your bead and back up through your loop, just like this. Now this first row of beads is going to sit very, very wonky, okay? It's not going to be neat, it's going to be a mess, and just don't freak out, it'll be okay. Go back through your bead and back up through your loop one more time. We will straighten these beads out, I promise, but they're going to look horrible when we first put them on this first row. Okay, so now your bead should be on there pretty tight. Shouldn't be moving around too much, it's just hanging there in space, right? So pick up your next bead. You're going to go through your loop. All right. And then go through your loop again, not through the bead again, just through your loop again. Okay. Got that? Then you're going to pick up another bead, and let me look here and judge how I think I am going to pick up 2. So pick up 2 beads. It just kind of depends on how your beads are laying. Like, you want them to be fairly even on this thing, but so yeah, I mean, for it, there needed to be a bead there. Okay, we're good. Go through your loop again. Not the beads, just your loop. And see, they're sitting really funny and crappy and wonky, but we'll fix it. And make sure your thread doesn't get caught on anything, because it can get caught back here on these beads like mine just tried to do. And that's a pain when that happens, because it kind of messes everything up. Alright, so pick up another bead and go through your next loop. Alright, and let's not let the thread get caught there. Okay, looking pretty good. Pick up another bead and go through your last loop. And let's go through this last loop again. Whoops, and you can pull your whole work off the table like I just did. Alright, what's going on? I've got a knot. Okay, this happens in this project. Get a knot, just take your time and get it out. It's just the way that all these beads are laying, and there's so many opportunities for things to get tangled up, like this. Alright, so here's what you should have. You should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 little beads going across here. We're going to pick up one more because we need something out here. It's looking a little blank there. So we'll pick up one more bead and go through this last loop again. And one more time, and we should have 7 beads on our row. Okay, 7 beads. All right, now what you're going to do is you're going to take your thread and go from the outside of this last bead like this, and we're going to go back through all the beads on the row. Now the first one, you will have to turn him and make him sit the way that he's supposed to. But just do that and go through all the beads just like that. Pull your thread. Okay, pull it tight, and they should all sit up pretty straight. And if they're not totally straight, they will straighten up as we go. Okay, so now we're going to start our square stitch. So you're going to pick up your bead, you're coming out right here, go back through the opposite side of your bead, that bead on your first row, and pull, and you'll see it will sit this little bead right side by side with the other one, just like that. Okay, see that? Then you're going to go back up through this bead, and you can hold it with your thumb in your first finger and just kind of pull tight. You want to keep very tight tension on this project, okay? Because the more tension you keep, the less thread is going to show. Pick up your next bead just like this. Now we want it to sit right here across from this one. So you're going to go straight across and down through both of those beads. And pull tight, just like that. Okay, and then we're going to go back up through these two beads. You're always going down through two and back up through two. And just hold it tight, just like this. Okay, and then pick up your next bead, and you want it to sit across from this one, so go down these two. Just like that, and back up through these two. Okay, and then pull tight. Okay, and you'll see some little spaces in there. That's just the nature of square stitch. It's kind of not perfect, but that's okay. It'll look fine in the end. So I'm just trying to find a bead that is pretty similar to the one I've got on. Okay, so we want it to sit right here. So we're gonna go down through this bead and the one below it, just like that. Set it right into place and then back up through these two. And if you ever get confused as to where you're going back up, you remember it's down to, up to, but you can also take your thread and pull it over like this. You don't ever want your thread going like that. So just pull it over, and wherever it comes straight across here, that's where you want to go back up through those two beads. Because you don't want your thread like doing crazy stuff. You want it to always keep a good thread path if you can. Pull tight. All right, now let's see. We're going to go down through these two beads. And this is square stitch, and it's very easy. And it's a good stitch to use when you want an even row. Like if I was doing peyote here, then there would be gaps between these bottom beads, and you don't want that. And if I was doing brick stitch gradually or naturally graduates to a smaller, down to a point, and we don't want that. So square stitch is it for today. Okay, next bead, we're wanting it to sit right here, so we're going to go down through this bead and the one right below it. Pull. Sets it right into place. Go back up these two. Just like that. Okay, there you have it. And then one more. Okay, we're going to go, that one's a little fat. Let me get a thinner one. There we go. We're going to go, whoops, I just blew off my needle. Okay, we're going to go down through these two. And I'll set it into place and back up through these two. Got it? Okay. All right, so now I'm going to start my frame around my beads, and I think I'm going to do it like this one, where there's some silver in the middle. I think I'm going to do it exactly that way. So let's see what I've got. I've got a white bead, then I would do a silver, then 3 whites, a silver, or 3 blacks, a silver, and a white. But actually, I'm going to do a white, a white, a silver. Okay. I'm not sure how I'm going to do this. I didn't decide this ahead of time. I should have. Okay. So we're going to go back down the row. I know I'm going to start with a white bead, so let me do that, since I already figured that much out. Okay, so you're coming out this end. You want to go back through the opposite end of that bead to make it sit right beside it. Okay, see? Just like that. And we're going to go back up through this bead. Okay, and just pull tight. Okay, how do I want to do this? I think I want to do silver. So let's grab a silver bead. We're going to go, we want it to sit here. You can flip your work if you'd rather work from bottom to top. And I'm just going to take it right up through here. And the bead on top. Just like that. And then back through the 2 beads. And just pull tight. Okay, another silver bead. Need a fatter one than that. This is what I mean by you have to kind of call your beads, because you want to try, whoops, what in the world's going on there? There's glue on it or something. You want to try to make them even as you possibly can. Okay, go back up through those 2 right there. Okay, and back down through these 2. You could probably do this with 11s. I haven't tried it, but I don't see why you couldn't. Okay, pick up your next bead, go back up through 2. Sets it right in there, and back down through these 2. Okay, and what did I do? Why is my string... What did I do? Did I loop around somewhere? What is going on here? Huh, okay, I've done something wrong. So let me go back. And we'll show you what happens when you mess up. Which is clearly what I've done. I'm not sure what I did. Okay. Let's go back up. Oh, I've got my thread through here somehow. Go back through there. If you get messed up, just follow your thread and undo it. That didn't undo it for me. What is going on? And sometimes, it looks like I'm going through here. If all else fails, you may have to take your needle out and pull your thread out that way. We'll see if we can avoid that, but I don't know. I have no clue what I did. That is so strange. Okay. I'm trying to follow where the thread went. Okay, well, let's see. We may just have to... Looks like it's going right through there. This is what happens when you get in a hurry. Okay, I've messed it up. Let me take my needle off. So if this happens and something gets tangled or you can't figure out what's going on, just take your needle off and pull your thread out like that. So somehow I am all the way through this top bead up here, and I don't know how in the world I managed to do that, but let's take this out. Okay. And then when you get back to where it's normal, just thread your needle back. And that's the easiest way that I have found to get rid of like a tangle or a mess up and you can't figure out what's going on, is just to unthread your needle, pull your thread out, and that should set you back right again. So I think I'm set back right again. I don't know what I guess I went up too many beads or something there. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull that and then go back down through these 2. I used to panic though, like when something like that would happen, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I can't get it out, I can't, figure it out. But just, if you just take your time and follow the thread path, take your needle off and just, pull your thread out, it's usually not as bad as you think it is. At least it's not usually for me. You can usually fix it. Go back down through those 2. Okay, pull tight. And you can kind of situate these around a little. They sit a little wonky only because 6s just aren't totally uniform. They're just not. Like, look at this guy right here. That one's huge. We don't want to use him. We have to call him out. Okay. So let's go here. We're going to go down through this bead because we want it to sit right here. Oh my goodness. When they get tight, when you pull them tight like that, it's sometimes hard to get your needle back up in there, but just wiggle it around, it'll go. Be careful not to poke yourself. That hurts really, really bad. Done that before. One day I had gotten a needle stuck in something and I was actually pulling it out with pliers. It was that stuck. And the pliers, when I jerked them out, the needle went into my opposite hand. Oh my goodness, it hurt so bad. Okay, so now we've done our silver row. I'm going to pick up a white one to finish off here. So we're going up these two. And back through these two. Pull tight. Okay, so now we're going to start on our 4th row. Pick up a white. We're coming out of this bead this way. We want to go back through the opposite way to set it beside it. Just like that. Go back up through the bead. Just like that. Okay, pick up a silver. Back down through these two. Make sure I got through the other one. There we go. And back up through these two. Okay, now I'm going to add in some black. So let's pick up a black bead. That one's kind of weird. Let's do a different one. Pick up a black bead. Go down through these two. Hope you can hear Sadie. She's like rolling around on the floor over there, making all kinds of noise. And back up through these two. What are you doing? What are you doing, Sadie? Huh? Okay. So, she's showing off. I don't know what she's wanting to play. Okay, so pick up a bead. Go down through this two. And back up through these. There we go. Okay. Oh, you knocked something off, didn't you? What are you doing? Okay. Another black. These black ones are really kind of not uniform. Okay, go down through two. And back up through two. So this is like the 4th time I've tried to film this tutorial. Maybe the 3rd time. I don't know. I've had all kinds of problems. Like my camera quits and I don't know it and I filmed half the tutorial and it's not filming. Or I did a whole row messed up on one the other day and had to completely pull the whole thing out and redo that. And see, I've messed up again here. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not doing very good, guys. What have I done? I think I've gone up through too many beads, maybe. Let's go back down through and see if we can get it to come out right. But yeah, this is like the 4th, literally, the 4th time I have tried to film this video. And I'm like, I'm going to do it this time. Yeah, that's what I did. I went an extra bead down, so be careful. See, I went down here and it made my thread look weird. I have to go up through these two. But yeah, I have now got like 4 of these pendants. So I'm going to send a couple, like Heidi, who gave me these polymer clay beads. I'm going to send one to her. I'm going to send one to Shirley, who has given me a bunch of stuff, including the Coreana chain that we're going to use tonight, and these findings right here. And then I'm going to send one to Mia, because Mia gave me all of these seed beads that I'm using tonight. So all of these size 6s came from Mia, and so I'm going to send her one of these pendants. So you guys, if you're listening, they're not perfect pendants because I have, you know, kind of been perfecting the technique, but hopefully you'll like them well enough to wear. I'm going to send them to you guys because you've supplied me with the things I needed to make them, and I appreciate it. Let me get a white bead. We're back to white again. And here we are. Okay, so we are on our 5th row now. And this is square stitch again. You set that one there and go back up through these 2. Okay, so now what you're going to do is you're going to continue this same pattern for as many rows as you, however long you want your pendant to be. See, this one is longer than this little short one, okay? So, but keep in mind the bottom 2 rows, well, the bottom 3 rows will be different. You'll have this row with your frame starting and 2 blank rows. So if you want this to be 15 rows long, you're going to do 14, 13, 12 more rows of this pattern right here, and then we'll finish up, okay? So do however many more rows of this pattern right here, and keep in mind you're going to have 3 below that, and then come on back and we will finish it up, okay? Okay, so we're back, and I have gone down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more rows, and now I'm ready to put on my final 3. So I'm going to do the next row like this one. So we'll go ahead and do this. We've got a white bead, just like that. If you can hear Chris in the other room talking gibberish to the animals. He has weird animal language that he uses. So if you're hearing him, that's what you're hearing. The weird animal language. Okay. And I don't mean he talks baby talk to them, or like even, it's like a totally weird language he talks to the animals. It's not even English. Alright. So let's do our 3rd silver bead. Oh my, these are really tight to get into. If you've been keeping your tension tight like you're supposed to, then they can be kind of hard to get through. If they are, you can use your pliers to pull them through. You're not going to break the bead because it's not necessarily the hole that is tight. These have huge holes in them. It's just the fact that you're pulling and keeping they're so tight together. Can you hear him in there? I swear he is speaking this weird language to the cat. It drives me crazy. Okay. Alright. Another silver. Pull it tight. We've got one more silver to put on here. Let's get down through there. Oh my goodness, come on. There we go. And we're going to do one more white one. Okay. This last one. So I wanted to mention to you guys, anybody that lives in the Fayetteville area or Rayford, Hope Mills, Spring Lake, just anywhere around here that would be willing to get together for a beading group, I'd really like to start a group. And I met a lady named Lisa here, and she's really nice lady, and we've gotten together one time. And then there's another lady named Heather that lives somewhere around here and we haven't met yet, but that's 2 people. And so if there's anyone else that lives in this area that might be interested in getting together and doing some beading, I wanted to mention that on my video. Just leave me a comment or email me. I'm going to try to get a group together. I think it would be a lot of fun. Okay, so my camera quit recording. I have no idea why. Sometimes it does that. It aggravates me to death. I wish I could. There's got to be a setting that I can fix in there that will keep it from doing that. But it just stopped, so I don't know where it was when it quit recording. But I had mentioned a beading group, and then I had mentioned your all's comments, and so I don't know where it left off. I hope it didn't cut off anything important. But I was talking about the thumbs down that people leave, and I don't know why people do that. I would think that if you don't like watching a video, you just wouldn't watch it, but it would take a lot for me to leave a thumbs down for somebody. I think that's kind of rude. But people do it, so go figure. Alright, we're on our last row here. So just go ahead and sew your last row like you normally would. Whoops. Sadie, she just yawned real big over there. I don't know if you guys can hear her. She's crazy tonight. I don't know what she's gotten into. She's been really mischievous. Like, when we're gone, she's been, like, digging in the trash. And then the other day, Chris left some Tums out on the night table or nightstand by the bed. And we came back and she'd eaten them all. Like, 5 or 6 of them, so she's definitely not got heartburn. And then he started putting them in this little black container so she can't get them, and we'll come home and we'll find the little black container on the bed like she's got it and tried to get into it. I mean, she's just been really ornery lately. I don't know what's going on with her, but she's funny. Okay, so we're going to put on our last bead here. There we have it. There's the last bead. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to sew on our bottom piece. Okay, so this is going to be a little wonky, just like it was the first time. Don't freak out. So you're going to make sure it's facing the right direction, okay? And go up through the bottom of your hole like this. Just like that. Okay? Then you're going to go back through this bead on the end from the inside out. Just like that. Okay, see that? Go back through the hole on your finding. Whoops. And then go down and through your next bead this way. Okay? And this is going to flop around for a minute until we get it secured. Okay, go up through your next hole from the bottom up, the back up or the bottom up, however you want to look at that. And then go through this bead, the second bead on your row, that way again. Not again, but this way. Okay? And just set it on there. You want to kind of hold it in place because you don't want it to come down over the front of the bead. So hold it up just like this so it'll stay where it belongs. Go through your next bead, the third bead on your row. Just like this. Okay, move that, pull that to where it sits right. You've got to kind of make it sit like you want it to sit. You're through the third bead on your row, go up from the bottom up through the next hole on your finding and pull tight. Now you're going to go back through, this is the fourth bead on your row, go back through that way. I'm sorry, I hit the camera. Okay, hold your finding like where you want it and go back up through that third hole again from the bottom up to the top. Okay, just like that. Okay, now you're going to sew through the 5th bead on your row going this way. If I can get my needle through it, I will show you. Okay, just like that. Go through the 5th bead on your row going this way. Pull tight. Pull your finding over so it sits evenly in front of your beads and go up through the 4th hole in your finding from the bottom to the top. Okay, now you're going to go back through that 5th bead on your row this way, this direction, and pull tight. Okay, now we're going to go through the 6th bead on our row this way. Don't go through the 7th, just the 6th. Okay, and then we're going to go up through the bottom, from the bottom to the top of our hole on our finding. Okay, now you're going to go through the 7th bead on your row this way. Okay, and pull tight. Now set your finding over. If it's not where it should be, set it over. Make it sit where you want it to be so it looks even, and then go back up through that hole. Okay, and pull tight. Okay, now go back through all the beads except for the 7th bead on your row this way. See that? Not the 7th, all the others. Okay, and pull very tight. Okay, and then this is what you're going to have. Okay, now I do not tie knots. Okay, I weave my thread through, so I'm going through the entire next row this way. I don't see any reason to tie knots. If you weave your thread through the right way, it is never going to come undone. Okay, go through the next row completely like this. Then I'm going to go through the first 2 on the row below where I'm at, just the first 2. Then I'm going to go straight down below it and go out the opposite way through these 2. So see, I'm coming out of this bead right here, just go down a row and out this way. Okay, I'm going to go back up and back through those 2 beads above where I'm coming out. Just like that. Then I'm going to go back down and sew through those 2 below it again. Okay, then I'm going to go down a row, go completely through this row, coming out the other side. Then I'm going to go down 2, just like this. Then I'm going to go straight back up. See, I'm coming out this bead right here. I'm going right up above it and back out through those 2 right there. If I can get through them. There we go. Okay, back down below them and through the entire row. See, I'm coming out here, drop down 1 and go through the entire row. Then I'm going through the entire row below that. Going through the next row below that. Okay. Pull my thread, I'm running out. Okay, and then right here's where I'm going to go the row above it and go through the first 2 on that row. Okay, go back through the 2 that I just came out of. See, my thread's coming out right here. I'm going to go down here and go through these 2. maybe. Making sure my camera's still recording. My luck, it would have quit and I'd just be sitting here talking to myself. Okay, it's not wanting to go in there. These are real tight. There we go. Well, maybe. Well, I got through one. Okay, that's good enough. Okay, then I'm going to drop right down below here. See, I'm coming out of this bead. I'm going to go right to the one below it. And if I can, I'm going to go through that row, but I don't know if I can. Take my pliers and see where it comes out at. There we go, it did go through it. Okay, pull, and I'm going to cut my thread. Okay. So now what you want to do is take your thread off this needle, thread your tail on. See if I can do this without my glasses. I should have put them on. I don't know if I can, I may have to put them on. Looks kind of fuzzy, let me cut it. Still looks kind of fuzzy, let me put the glasses on. Okay. Alright, let me cut that. Just get it nice and even. Okay. So you want to thread your tail on and just basically do the same thing that we just did. You just want to weave in and out. If I can get my thread on the needle. Oh my goodness, come on. You flatten the, anytime you're using Fireline, just so you know, you flatten it out with your fingernail and it'll make it a whole lot easier to get through the needle, in theory. Of course, while I'm on video, it's not going to do it, but I usually don't have trouble threading needles. There we go. Alright, so again, we're just going to weave around until we get this thread woven in pretty good. So go through the first row, through the second row. And I'm not as worried about this one because we've sewed the whole thing with this thread. So go through the first three on the next row. Go straight up above it and back out through these three. See, I'm coming out here, go straight up above. And out through these three, if you can get them through. If not, then just go what you can get through. Yeah, it went through like one, I think. Okay. It went through two. Okay, I'm going to go straight up above that and go out the end of the row. Just like this. And then I'm going to cut it off. Alrighty, so here's your little pendant. And it's very stiff. And I think they turn out really cute. So now we're going to do our, we're going to put our little dangle on. And I just realized that I did not get a bail out. So let me grab a bail to hang this on. I don't know why I didn't do that. So we'll use this one. Okay, put your needle aside. Oh, that's my head pin. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm going to thread on a sparkly black bead. Here we go. This little bead cap, my moonstone, other bead cap, little sparkly black bead, and we're going to make a loop. And thank you to Shirley for these black beads. She sent these to me. I think she watched my video where I was making something else and said that I didn't have any sparkly little black beads. So Shirley, if that was your motivation for sending me these, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. They're coming in really cute on this pendant. Okay, and then we're going to roll our loop back. And there we have our little loop. Let me straighten mine up a little. It's kind of crooked. Okay, so there we have that. Now we're going to take our jump ring and we're just going to hang this right on the bottom of our pendant. Okay, so anytime you open a jump ring, you do it this way. You don't ever pull it open this way, because if you do, it's not going to go back the way you want it to. Okay, and we're just going to hang this right on here. Close it up and make sure it's closed up really good. And there you have it. Look how cute. I love these moonstone beads. I think they're just absolutely beautiful. Okay, so now we're going to do our bail. So let's take another jump ring. And we're going to hang our bail on here, just like this. Okay, make sure your jump ring's closed really good, and this is what you'll have. Okay, now we're going to take our Coreana chain, and we're just going to feed it straight through. Now, you can bead on this Coreana chain if you want to. I'm not going to. I'm just going to leave it like it is, because I think it looks good. Just sometimes not bead it on, and I don't want to for this. And then we're going to take our crimp beads. So grab out 2 crimp beads and your clamshells. Okay, there they are. Now, normally I put E6000 inside of this, but I don't have any laying here at the moment. So I'm not going to right now. But normally I would take my clamshell and put it on my chain like this. Then I would put my crimp bead on, just like this. Oops, there we go. Put your crimp bead on. Mine doesn't want to go on. There we go. Just crimp it down. I pull it up to the very end. You don't need much chain sticking out of that. So just pull it up there and crimp it really tightly. Okay, then you pull your clamshell up. Now I would normally put a dab of E6000 in there, but like I said, I don't have it in here with me. And just close this up. And see what a professional little finish that gives it. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Put our clamshell on. Whoops. Just like this. And half the time, I always put my crimp bead on before I put my clamshell on, and then I crimp it, and then I have to cut my chain, because I've forgotten to put my clamshell on. So, don't do that. I've done that more times than I care to admit. Alright, pull it up, crimp it down very tightly. Pull your clamshell up. Close it right up there, okay? Now we're going to throw our lobster on, and then we're done. So you need a little bit of a big ring for your lobster to go on. I'm going to use this little twisted jump ring right here. This one will be the one my lobster connects to, or closes into. So I'm going to close this up. And make sure it's closed up really good. Okay. Then I'm going to take a smaller jump ring. And I'm going to hook my lobster claw on. Find the opening there. Okay, put your lobster on. Hook it through your little clamshell. And close it up. And there you have it. So here we'll clasp our little lobster onto our jump ring. And there is a nice professional finish on your Coreana chain. So here's your finished pendant. It makes a really, really cute pendant, I think. And like I said, I think you could do this with Toho seed beads size 11s or the FGB size 11s. I might try it and just see, but I think it would work probably better because these would sit more uniform. But you can kind of wiggle these around if you find they're not sitting straight, and they'll kind of line up a little bit better. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and this video, and I hope you'll give these a try. They really are fun, and you can do them, look at this, in so many different, and each one looks so different. So many different colors. You could even do different patterns down through them. But I think they're really cute. So let me put my information up here. For those of you, like I said, anybody in the area that would like to get together for a beading group, Here's my phone number. If I don't answer, please leave a message because I can't answer my phone at work. So if I don't answer, it's not because I'm ignoring you. It's because I can't answer at work. Here's my email address. So yeah, if anybody's in the area that would like to get together for a group, email me, call me. Yeah, and I would love to get together with you. Here's my website. Check out my website. I've got a lot of new items up on the website, and I'm trying to upload more. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram as well. I post pictures on Instagram that, you know, obviously I can't post on YouTube. So, yeah, thanks for watching, and I'm glad you guys hung in here with me this long. Sorry for all the bloopers. Not perfect by any means, and, you know, I'm not afraid to show it. So, you guys have a great rest of the evening, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.